past several years, I have been traveling the Midwest looking for kick-ass bands and quality venues that you need to know about. I am Jeremy Schindorf, and this is That Local Metal Show. Thanks for tuning in another week to That Local Metal Show. And we are in another Parts Unknown this week. We are down in the man cave of Jack from the Hemi Devil's house. And here they are, my friends, the Hemi Devils.
How you doing, man?
Introduce yourselves and tell the world out there what everybody plays in the band, what your job is.
I'm Jack, lead singer.
I'm Rob, I play rhythm guitar.
I'm Taylor Reverendo, a.k.a. Lusty Webbs. I'm the guitar. B. Andrews, I play the drums. Lenny, bass.
Nobody is going to tell anybody their real names tonight. So, let's start off with how I met. I came to a show at the Agora in Cleveland a year and a half ago or so, and met up with you cats, and totally blew me away. Loved the music. I'd never heard anything like it. It was a cross between rockabilly and a little bit of thrash. Everything was metal. It was just great. The imagery was awesome. You got the greaser thing going with some pinup girls and some like comical devils and just it's that full 50s 60s vibe. I wrote a piece about them on the NWO Metal Militia page.
First one to catch us.
Man, that was such a great show, man. And like I had said, I reposted it again last week, and some of the players have changed, but the music has not. These guys are solid as shit, and you're going to see tonight just exactly what I'm talking about. So let's go. How did this all happen? How did you guys come together as the unit?
Facebook.
Well, it was funny because Kenny and I were working on a 68 Camaro at Kenny's shop. And
Busted!
Alias shop. Anyways, we were working on a 68 Camaro, and we were jamming out to like Deep Purple and some old Hendrix, and we were like, man, why don't we take old school, some old school music and mix it with metal, and so about a year and a half after we talked about it in the garage. I called Lenny one day, and I was like, "Hey man, let's do this shit, man. Let's just get it together, man." And he's like, "All right." So he's like, "But I don't want to play drums. I want to play bass." Kenny and I played in a band at Nguyen for 11, 12 years, and so he was like, "I want to do something different. So I want my playing bass." So right. I was like, all right, cool, man. And Taylor, I met him.
Did you find me outside?
He was hanging around a park. He was hanging around a parking lot, man, like some bum or something.
Like some bummers.
Well, more literally.
Yeah, he was like a bum at the time, and he was just sitting
like
there.
Keith Richards kind of.
Yeah, something like that, man.
Oh, that kind of bum.
I think he just came from a bar, and he's just sitting in a parking lot of some age, man, and he's just playing his guitar, and I was like, hey, man, you're a pretty good guitar player, man, and I got his number, and then,
he actually said, you're fucking amazing, I need you, and I was like, I'll think about it, man, dude, like,
well, that was like later on. So, I had him in mind. I was running into him off and on, and I was like, this dude would be perfect for this project, and then Rob had just moved back to Cleveland from Florida, and Rob and I have known each other for over 20 years, and so we were like, hey man, let's get him involved too.
Right on.
And we went through a series of drummers. We also had a female singer at the time singing in the band. There was actually 2 female singers and myself, and there was 8 people or 7 people in the band.
It ended up getting pretty crazy.
Yeah, it got crazy. There was a lot of drama, a lot of stupid stuff, and so they.
You would think for everybody in the band being sober that it would have been cool.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way. It was funny because it was the sober people that were ready to kill each other,
Right.
and everybody else was just sitting back watching like.
Drank and laughed.
They were like, these assholes, you know. So and yeah, so it didn't quite work out that well with the female singers, and then as time went on, it just we started developing our own sound and honing in on it, and
Sure.
then,
The bromance got real.
we went through some
Reels.
changes, and
Yeah, like most bands do. I mean, it's very hard to start with an initial lineup and stay there.
these group of guys are some of the finest musicians I've ever worked with.
I can tell there's definitely a brotherhood. Everybody says
It is a brotherhood.
but I can definitely see. I mean, they fed us. We came here, they had chicken, they had potato salad, everything was set up. Man, these guys are all just hanging out, chilling before a gig.
Dude, we're known for that. We started that with a band called Militia out of Detroit.
Hell yeah.
They come to town, and actually we went out there first and we were having a cookout, and we went to a local grocery store, and Jack's like, "Where's the stadium mustard?" And Tim was like, "Stadium mustard? What the hell is that?"
That's a Cleveland
So
thing.
we
Yeah,
introduced them to the stadium mustard, and they loved it. And every time they come to town, we have a cookout. Every time we go out there, they have a cookout for us. And we're doing it with other bands too, like Bonesaw and Mansfield and
Right.
everything.
Love Bonesaw too.
Oh, yeah, great.
Make it
Great and bad.
make it a day,
Hell yeah.
events.
Tonight, the Stalk Through finds us in Lakewood, Ohio, West Cleveland for all you geographically challenged folks, at Iggy's Bar. So let's walk on inside this little cool pub and show you what they can do for live music. Well, hey, you beat me in here. This is Iggy's. Nice, warm, welcoming environment. Fully stocked bar, nice and illuminated, makes you want to drink lots of liquor. Got a pretty sufficient area for merch here. Got a couple tables set up. I think we've heard of these guys before. Got all kinds of skill games here. Foosball, man. I love me some foosball. Mike Tyson's knocked the hell out. All right, we also have 3 pool tables here. Plenty of room to get your game on. All right, now to the meat and potatoes of the venue, the Iggy stage. We're about 2 foot off the ground. It's about 10 foot by 20 foot wide, plenty big. Nice room for everybody. Got the little back room for backstage and stuff. And the only place I know of where you can watch a rock and roll band and play Keno at the same time. So in a nutshell, that's Iggy's in Lakewood, Ohio. Check it out, Militia. And this, I got turned on from the show, and then this was out probably, that was summertime, and I think this came out in the fall,
Yeah,
didn't
it came out in July.
Oh, it came out in July? Okay. I know I had it right as soon as it was out, and it's been in regular rotation ever since. Great stuff. Like I said, it's got that 50s, 60s stuff, but with like metal added to it, man, and it has that whole pin-up girl greaser thing going on, man, that SoCal, hot rods, and, just great stuff. Uncle Satan was a great track off of this album.
Music to get high too.
Definitely, one way or another. And let me see the second one. And this one, tonight is going to be the record release of Volume 2.
Woohoo!
And very stoked to see it played live. I've seen a few of them played live so far, and I've listened to this about 100 times at work. And there's a little bit of cursing, so the ethanol industry that I work in wasn't really impressed with that, so I turned it up a little bit more, and now they like it. So where were they both recorded at the same place?
Yes, they were both recorded at Brainchild Studios. The first one was at a different location.
Right.
Noah got a new building, and there's a bigger live room, so obviously the drums sound a lot.
So the
bigger.
new one was done at Noah's new place?
Yeah, it was
I've
one
been
of
to the new place.
It was one of the first
He
ones
does a
Noah
great
did
job.
there.
Yeah, the cool thing about that too was talking to Noah after he recorded the second volume 2. One of the things when we were talking before we started recording was having Lee in the band. Lee is a very, he's a heavy hitter.
Yes.
And one of the things I was talking to Noah about, I said one of the things that I loved was the sound of John Bonham's drums on When the Levee Breaks.
Mhm.
And I said, man, I would love to have that that thunderous sound, you know.
You
And
got it.
so
You got it.
He brings the thunder.
he did that, and he also listened to the first Black Sabbath album a lot, and he used a lot of what they used as far as like guitar tone and stuff like that in the first Black Sabbath album,
Right on.
and incorporated into the mix of this album,
Which I caught. It was at the 5. It was last year sometime. I don't recall exactly when it was, but I think it was your first show.
Yeah.
And I could. Yeah, I felt bad for your kid, dude. You definitely slayed the shit out of him.
And I do have to say it's great having Taylor Reverendo back, because Taylor is one hell of a guitar player,
Absolutely.
one hell of a writer, and Taylor wrote all of the first album, but just didn't record it with us.
Right now, he wrote something.
Well, he wrote.
We all wrote.
Yeah, everybody wrote everything, but
Sure.
it's great having him back as well, man.
Oh, damn right, man.
It's good to be back, man.
Funny thing about Jack saying Lee hits really hard. We're playing Wednesday, opening for the goddamn Gallows, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a cymbal fly across the stage.
Yeah.
He broke his damn cymbal stand and just like picked it up and threw it across the stage.
I get like right in front of my feet. I'm like, what the
See, one of the things too is having Lee in the band reminds me a lot of how it was like working with Kenny for all them years. Kenny's an amazing drummer.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, him being the drummer in Toro Blanco.
Shit, yeah.
But
of my favorites.
another great
He's got the
great
personality
man.
to hang with us too, you know.
And
You gotta have that. You won't be able to
I've been like missing that heavy hitting drums, because I always followed Kenny for 12
Sure.
years, and yeah.
This band is normally a band has one jokester, if you will.
All of us.
Everyone is the
Oh,
character.
that's what
I don't know which one is the biggest ass of Jacks, man.
Oh, it's definitely Jack. Jack is definitely.
Yeah.
The cool thing for me is, man, I'm originally a bass player. This is the first band I played guitar.
I did not know that.
So I write like kind of a bass player would write. I write with groove,
Mhm.
and to have
Yeah.
Kenny and Lee,
Playing with
Kenny's a
groove.
drummer that plays bass rhythmically like a drummer would,
Sure.
and Lee did. It's a blessing in disguise.
That explains a lot of the pocket right there.
Bass and drums go together, but it's like we're like two peas in a fucking pod.
Right.
Yeah,
on.
it's drummer feel, man. We just like, me and Kenny are always on the same page. We just like look at each other and we get that
It's like
little
two
crack
cherries
that
on a
smile,
Shirley
you know?
Temple. It's the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life.
The first time I saw Toro, I think, was at the ballroom at the Agora, and I was new to the Cleveland scene. I had just started coming over a couple of years ago, and I had already seen you guys play, and I seen Toro, and I'm like, the whole time, dude, that drummer looks like somebody, and I can't picture out who he looks like. And then
Lenny.
I'm like, wait,
Lenny.
he looks like the bass player from the Hemi Devils, but I'm not quite sure. And then you come over and we start talking. I'm like, that's totally him, man. Now it's like we're all friends. I've booked both of your bands at shows at some places, and it's funny. But I didn't know at the time. I'm like, man. And then I didn't realize at that time that the Cleveland syndrome. Most everybody I know from Cleveland are in 2, 3, and 4 bands.
Yeah.
There's so much talent, man. You've got so much artistic, and this being a band unlike any other band, like you just said, I want to try. I've been at no end, but I want to try something with a different sound. And yeah, the sound is a '68 Camaro. It definitely is, man.
It's that groove, man.
Right. So where's some places you really like playing in the Cleveland area? I mean, I've seen you a lot. But
Tonight, Iggy's.
Iggy's.
Damn
It's
right.
our
That's like
home away
our,
from home.
That's like our clubhouse, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Iggy's is awesome. We like playing the Agora, of course. Who
Sure.
doesn't?
Yeah, right.
You
So
know,
much history.
Yeah, you got like the huge venue being the Agora, and then Iggy's being more the intimate
Intimate.
setting.
Which is what I love. That's totally what I love.
Yeah.
I'd rather
I
play
like it.
to a packed tiny house
Yeah.
than a half-empty big
Yeah,
room.
of
you know.
course, yeah.
We're gonna give the same show regardless, but
But you just get that.
there's a lot more
electricity,
energy
man.
in the small clubs.
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest places we ever played was Ralph's Diner out in Massachusetts, in
Absolutely.
Worcester, Massachusetts, and
Mm.
that place is awesome. It just it has that vaudeville
Yeah.
style stage, and like everything is. It
Retro
just
70s.
looks like something that you walk into, and a bunch of guys like us would be hanging out there and playing because they have the old school diner
Loads of
downstairs.
Isn't it actually called
Yeah.
Ralph's Diner?
Ralph's
You
Diner.
walk in at, and it looks like an old like, train car.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the silver.
It
Like an
totally
old school
reminded me
diner,
of
man.
Dusk Till Dawn when they pull up to the titty twister and there's all the neon.
Yeah.
You know, you go down this dirt
You painted the
road.
picture. I see it.
And you go down this dirt road to get to it, and it opens up into that place.
No
And
shit.
when we pulled in, it was like, really, a little box car?
Yeah.
But you walk through it, it's huge. There's a huge room behind it,
Where was that
upstairs
at?
and down.
Worcester,
Worcester,
Massachusetts. You guys played in New York City on that little tour too, didn't you?
New Jersey.
New Jersey, that's right.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of pictures taken in the city.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
We did go to New York too, because it was the weekend of 9/11, so we just kind of did the tour of New
yeah,
York
yeah.
City. And
That
we
was
were
2
there
years
on
ago,
9/11. We were
Yeah,
in
we were
New
there
York
on
City.
9/11.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
It was funny because all the police officers in New York City thought we were bikers. Like it was funny because you think when you go to New York City, you think like everybody's like Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and like
Yeah.
like big what's the matter with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was like we were huge compared to a lot of them people. We were like we stuck out like a sore thumb, man.
No shit.
We were walking around with heavy devil shit on, and it was funny. We looked like a biker gang or something.
Right.
That's what they thought we
Yeah.
were, a biker gang.
We got our pictures taken with this guy dressed up as a Statue of Liberty.
I didn't see those pictures.
We were like, we're like, let's get our picture with this dude, right? So me, Jack, and Kenny, we stand down, we get our pictures, we go to walk away, and he's like,
It's like, hey! Hey! We're like, hey! That's what he was like that. We were like, hey!
our drummer at the
We're both
time,
playing with
Scott,
squatters'
got there a
rights.
day early, so he already knew that this guy was going to ask us for money, so he just like kicked back and watched, just like,
I got out of the picture.
It was,
So, some bands that well, you teabagged him on the air, man.
you missed it. Lee already teabagged Taylor when Jack was talking.
So, name drop a couple of bands you guys really dig playing with from Detroit or from Cleveland.
Tonight, Rat Bastard Syndicate.
They're great.
We're really good friends with them guys, and doing shows with them, it's a really good package. Same with Velvomatics. They're a little bit different, but they're like old school rock and roll. They're playing tonight too.
Toro Blanco is
Toro
another
Blanco.
great band.
Definitely need to get them on an episode.
I tell you what, I would really like to do a few more shows with a band called Gluttons. Great Iron Snake. It's another great band.
Damian Perry's guys.
Yeah.
Busby Death's Chair.
Busby Death.
Thunder Cougar Falconhawk.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll never remember
absolutely.
that.
Rory.
That's probably my favorite local rock band.
Rory Kelly from North Carolina. Goddamn Gallows out of Detroit.
We're bringing
right?
Rory up in July. His
MP
mother,
Presley.
the Crank County Daredevils. Get to that show. That's gonna be one you don't want to miss. They call themselves the Kings of Sleaze, and they call themselves that for a reason.
Dude, they're great. They're
They're
like,
really good. They're like
they're the shit.
Guns N' Roses, but sleazier, more punk.
Nice.
I've known Kenny since he was born.
Yeah.
I used to roadie for his dad's band, Purgatory.
I've heard about his father so many
Purgatory.
times.
Purgatory
Spawned
is
a
one of
bunch good players.
my all-time favorite bands ever, and that band, like those guys, influenced me, and to become a musician.
Right.
I learned from those guys, and they, to me, if they would have stuck it out, man, and hung together, man, they would have been bigger than Slayer. I'm not lying about that,
Right on.
man. Like they would have been bigger than Slayer.
I've heard so many good things from so many people from, well, of course, you now, to Sicky Spacek has told me about those
Oh, yeah.
guys. And
The funny
he's like,
thing
that's
is, one of their old
royalty.
guitar
Yeah,
players,
fucking
Frank
shit, man.
Romano, moved to New York, became a session player. And all the like R&B and rap songs, you know, from like 1995 on, that have guitar on it,
Right.
that's Frank.
He plays with
Specifically played with J-Lo.
J-Lo, and now he's with Rob Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
Matchbox
20, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent, man, that actually came out of Cleveland that a lot of people don't even realize. Like Marilyn Manson, there's a club right around the corner from the club we're playing tonight where Marilyn Manson and Nine Inch Nails got big before
Right.
they went to LA. And you know, it's a thing. A lot of bands that make it big here, or they don't make it big here, but they're just starting.
Right.
They go to LA and they forget about where they came from,
Right.
and you know, which I think is bullshit because Cleveland's a great city. I don't give a
Absolutely
fuck what
is.
anybody says.
One
I
of my
love
favorites.
Cleveland. You know,
I've
and,
got more friends here than I do at home, I think.
and
You kind of owe it to pay homage to those people, right?
You do. You absolutely do.
Absolutely.
All right. This week's edition of On the Radar features a band from Columbus. They go by the name of Weed Demon. I don't know what that's all about, but the music's heavy as shit. I've seen them a couple times, saw them down at Space Bar and Double Happiness in Columbus. Great live show, a lot of energy. Jordan is the bass player and lead vocal, and he's just stomping around and kicking the shit out of everything and playing his bass. It looks like a staple bent backwards half the time when he's playing, and Brian's over there on guitar kind of looking like a metronome, just an evil, devilish metronome. But this is their EP called Stoned to Death. It's 5 heavy-ass tracks. It starts off with Green Inferno, but my favorite is Sacrifice at the Altar of Fire. Real heavy stuff. Good band, Columbus, Ohio. You ought to check them out. If they're on a bill and you like heavy, this is where you should be. Columbus, Ohio's Weed Demon. That's what's on my radar, and they should be on yours. All right, this is the segment of the show where we talk about everybody's gear, who's playing with what, and we'll start with Rob. What's your whole rig?
I've got a Washburn X50 through a Marshall 412, and it's being powered by a Randall combo amp that I disconnected speakers on. It's my welfare rig.
It's a gangster.
It's gangster as fuck, but you know, it packs a punch.
Fucker rips.
It does what it does.
That's all that matters.
Right.
What about you, Kenny?
Lenny.
Mr. Lenny.
I got it's an Epiphone Blackbird bass that I got from a guy for like $200, and it's one of the coolest basses I think I've ever had.
It's as big as you are, and you throw it around the fucking stage.
That's yeah.
I've seen you throw it around from Cleveland to Detroit, man.
And back.
And then I got
He just tosses it.
putting that through the Ampeg SVT3 Pro head through a 6x10 Ampeg head.
Cool. What's your kit?
I've got drums. They're made of drumsticks.
I got an old rickety, it's a Yamaha Power V kit, 4-piece that's been thrown in the fucking trunk and bounced around, never been in a road case, and traveled around most of this country. And
Nice.
you know, it's dusty. There's still whipped cream on it from when Jim Kanye played my drums.
Oh, damn.
Some years
Yeah, you gotta
back.
leave that on there
Which I did
forever.
leave there in honor of Kanye.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
That's sweet.
And I hadn't even played drums in like 5 years when these guys called me. I was on like a bit of hiatus, and you know, a good friend of mine, Steve Shalati from Immolation, I gave him a call and I said, hey man, I'm trying to put my kit back together. I'm missing these pieces, parts and stuff. So I called up Steve. He hooked me up with a snare and some cymbals and stuff and some stands. So we got it all the way put together. But it's pretty much mismatched, and most of my cymbals have a small crack in them. I break a lot of stuff. Like he said, I just broke a cymbal stand in half the other day. And it almost took Kenny's.
Look at these arms. They're just ravaged.
But that's what comes with the territory. I'm one of the heaviest drummers in Cleveland because I'm like 285 pounds. I don't know. There are many drummers that are heavier than me. You know, so, you know, when you're a heavy drummer, that kind of shit happens.
Shit gets broke.
Playing heavy shit, you know, so. But it's a beater, but, you know, it's not about, like, the size of the boat type deal. It's the motion in the ocean, you know.
Right. Remember that, ladies.
I'll make that beat as.
Yeah, they're a little beat on the rickety, but I can rock the shit out of them, you know, so it's
I
good
can
enough
attest to
thing,
that,
so.
and I can't wait to show everybody else. What's your rig?
Well, I've got a pretty sweet rig, I think.
Lusty
Well,
Funny
I
Whims.
got a PV VTM 120, early 80s. It's fucking badass, dude. All retube, brand new. Know what I'm saying? I got a Marshall cab, ripped out all the speakers, put in 4 Eminence G12H75 red coats, the old Hendrix speaker, but they're like 40 more watts a piece, so that it just screams like sexy rock tone. I've got a Gibson Nighthawk I've been playing on lately. It's a 93. That thing's sexier than hell. It's got a Firebird pickup up top. I got a Strat single and 57 classic bridge, dude.
You know, I'm so
I got two Mogami cables. One broke the other day. And, seriously. I got a little homemade wooden pedal board that I put together. Simple stuff. I don't use a lot of effects. I just do classic. You know, I'm basically always going for that like sweet classic tone. Anything I can to be like Slash or Eddie like.
Don't have a lot of effects, but he built this board.
In burgundy red.
Burgundy.
I use a box wah. You know, just simple stuff. I got a tuner on there. Box wah.
You know what is
Ivan
fucking...
has Tube Screamer.
This box looks like a fucking spice rack.
Spice rack. It looks like it would be like a close. Yeah. It just looks like some old
Stewart putting shit together.
grandma's kitchen. It looks like I built it in wood shop when I was like 16 or something.
Well, no, it doesn't have
Fuck
a
up.
prison look to it.
It's got a homie grandma's
Looks like a miniature
spice rack
gun
like
rack.
it, you know?
Miniature gun rack.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my rig there, and that's about it. You know, I got a noise gate on the end. That's pretty much everything I use.
And he teabags it.
How about
Yeah,
you,
teabag.
Jack?
Teabagging through the
everything.
whole episode.
If you got a phase, I'm teabagging.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up and head up to the show. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and take your kids to a show, man. Rock and roll is not dead; it's very much alive.
Oh, very much alive.
Thank you
Rock
to the
and
Hemi
roll.
Devils from Cleveland, Ohio.
We love you guys.